Are we ready? Are we live?
I think we are.
Well, hi everyone. Our first Facebook Live in this group, I think, Paul.
It is, yeah.
Mm. Well, I'm Gillian Erskine, and today Paul Myatt and I are here to do a quick session. Well, I don't know whether it's going to be so quick, Paul. We've got so much to share.
I know. It's been when we started thinking, oh well, it won't take very long to do this, but oh my goodness.
I know, we've got so many points we want to share. So the winner of the poll of our Facebook poll was how to make online teaching fun and effective. So before we get started, we'd like please say a quick hello if you're with us live, and tell us where you're from. Anyway, so let's get started. So what's the number one thing, Paul? We've got a slide for this.
Have we?
Yeah, the first slide.
The first slide.
Hopefully
Oh, the slides are coming. Slides are coming.
Okay.
So tell us what it is.
Okay, it's gamify. How to make online teaching fun and effective. You have to gamify it. That's how. And we've got lots of ideas around that. So the first tip we've got is, we've got three tips actually. Well, first tip is making it a multi-sensory experience. The second tip is use backing tracks. And the third tip is teach in bite-sized chunks. So let's just kick it off with the multi-sensory experiencing thing, because you go, yeah, okay, I get VAK, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, but how do I do that on video? So, Paul, do you have a tip? The first tip?
Well, the thing is that you need to get the kids to move. So it's really important to make sure that everyone is moving as much as possible. Because if, like, you've got the two of us here, just two talking heads,
Yeah,
it
it's
gets a
too
bit
boring.
boring. Yeah, so you really got to get them to move. And you don't want to be always talking.
No,
So
exactly. So can you go? Can you see find those slides? Because
I
another
can.
yeah, another point we want to do is change what they see on their screen throughout the lesson to break it up and to break up the monotony of looking at the same thing all the time. So, do you need a second screen or a second camera? No, but if you want to make it fun and effective, yeah, you probably
You
do.
probably do.
Yeah, and that's not
Exactly.
that hard, is it? You can do that with a phone, can't you, Paul?
Exactly. You can do it. You can see there's our little.
Yeah,
See it?
yeah.
So you can. I have a second camera, but you can use a phone,
Yeah.
and
Everyone's got a phone.
everyone's got a phone, and you can just dial in on your phone. I'll just show you. You can see my setup here. You can see there's my camera, and I can then just go on Zoom and change. There's a really quick change like that, and I can now change to that, and it's that quick to change back.
Is that a shortcut
And
key?
it's just a shortcut key. So on a Mac, it's Command and Shift and N for Nelly. There'll be a similar one on PC, but it actually tells you in the screen. You know, when you it says select a camera, and it has the shortcut in brackets after it.
Hmm, exactly. So when you do that, you can show what you're playing and it's more easy. Do we want to show, we've got a little video clip of someone doing a lesson.
We do. We
Before we go
do.
on, should we show that little clip?
I think so. This is a clip that we showed a couple of weeks ago, on which I can't remember
13?
the I think it was,
Yeah.
and so this was Miss
Don't
Doobie.
be.
This is Miss Don't Be teaching a lesson. So let's just have a quick. It only goes for a couple of moments, but it's really worth having a look.
Yeah, because it might give some context to this.
Exactly. So I'm just going to get that up on my screen right now. And here we go. This should be it. Here's 50 odd seconds of Miss Don't Be teaching.
We did fasten it up, didn't we? We did.
We did speed it up, yes. Here we go. Actually, no, it's a little bit longer, but it's 1 minute and 53 seconds, but really well worth watching, I reckon.
Mm.
Here we go.
All right, so we're going to learn this one, all right? Okay. So have a look at your book. We're going to, let's see, can you point to the C? What are you pointing to? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that middle C. So we'll have a go at playing that bit. So put your thumb on C. Finger C. Okay, I think that's your left hand, Kerry. Change your hands. Change. That's it. Okay, that's not middle C. Middle C is this one. This one here.
One?
Oh, sorry. There you go.
I can't see.
Very funny. Very funny. Middle C. You know where middle C is. Play middle C. That's it. Okay. All right. That's not middle C. Middle C is this one. Play from the beginning. This one here.
Did you stop it? I can't see it anymore.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Well, she was getting quite frustrated there, wasn't she? Because it was...
Here we let's continue.
Okay,
There she
use
is.
the right fingers, Dal. Okay, so put your thumb on C. Right hand. Thumb on C. Right hand, not your left. That hand. Yeah, thumb on C. That's it. Now, okay, now like this. Here, have a look. Put your thumb on C. Do that. No, nice hand. You know, curve fingers. Curve your fingers. That's it. I'm just doing that so you can see what finger I'm using. Now, finger number 2 on D. And then finger number?
The root finger.
Sure. Okay, number 3, the rude finger on E and 4 on F. All right, now, play what's written. Okay, now we're going to add the left hand as well. So put your left hand up on, what's the first note for the left hand then?
D.
Wow.
And look, you know, she's doing the best she can. She's got one camera angle, and she's trying to keep it, moving it around a bit to try and get even a better sort of a shot. The only thing she's got is words to explain what she's doing. And they're like squinting into the camera, what? Because they're trying to use their visual sense. And we so much rely on our visual sense in much of our learning, in the combination of senses. So we also, if you looked in the background, it was pretty boring. It was just a white wall. I think she actually had a painting or something on the back wall of it. So she didn't pay any attention to what was in the background. So it was pretty boring to look at. So we've got a couple of ideas around that. So can we go back to the slides, Paul?
Sure. Let me go back to this.
We've got a pretty good slide on this one.
All right, here we come. Here's the slides. Okay. So.
Yay! So we can break up the visual monotony by wearing some fun things, like by wearing a bright top. This girl in this photo has a bright coloured blue top on. We could wear bright coloured scarves. We could even do something like a colourful hat, occasionally different things, different weeks. We could even have something like a hat or glasses or something that signify that we're moving to a different type of subject. So like the glasses might be when we're going to do theory, and you like you got to ham it up here because you are on TV.
That's right, and that's a really important thing. You actually got to be changing the visual stimulation all the time. So I'm sure you probably all watch the news or even any of the morning shows. They're constantly changing direction and stuff. So it's because the brain actually gets really bored.
Looking at the same thing. All right, we got another one. And our next point is use props when you're explaining. So what we mean by that, you got this one? What we mean by that is that if you're saying, can you find the letter C or the note C, and you put a little flashcard up there as well, they've got not only what you're saying, but what they're seeing to think about. Paul, you've also got a...
So there's the... These are some of the flashcards from the teacher resource pack that we put together for teachers. And where's that? So there's notes with the keyboard, and then the individual flashcards as well.
Yeah.
So
there's lots of cards in there. We've also got in there a demo stage. We've got a couple of little.
you could do all sorts of things. Now, I'm actually using my music stand at the moment, so I could have another music stand, or I could do this. I could do my quick change. Oops. I could do my quick change here, and I could do, and I could just put them on the piano, just like this. You know?
Yep.
So there we go.
And you can use them in so many different ways. I mean, you could be, can you find me a note that looks like this on your piece?
Yes.
You know, you can
Exactly.
do rhythm clapping, which is what you're showing there.
Exactly. There's lots of different options that you can use to really make it interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a little just if you don't remember what's in the kit, I think we've got a little video, don't we?
We do. Let me see if I can find that now. So we've got there's quite a few things in the kit.
Yeah.
So we'll just have a
Exactly.
I've actually got 3 videos of 3 different things, so I'll show you the first one and then we can take it from there. Hold on. Sure, you've seen the teacher resource page for the brave cats, the cool cats and the clever cats, with a whole heap of videos curated just for you. Since then, we've received so many emails from teachers about how to communicate with our students, as well as what games to play in this online teaching space. So we've created an online teaching resource kit. It's completely free, and the best bit is that you can send the kits to your students so you both have them. Let me show you. The first thing I'm going to show you in the teacher resource kit is the flashcard party with 64 flashcards for you to print out. We've made them in colour, but if you don't have a colour printer, we've also got black and white versions. There's note names, symbols, notation and rhythm. There's a 1-stave, 2-stave, 6-stave and 12-stave manuscript PDF for both A4 and US letter. Make your own paper keyboards, 2 octaves and then a 2-page 3-octave keyboard. For online lesson or homework notes with your student, a template for Google's free Docs service. The Online Lessons Teacher Resource Kit is free to piano teachers who watch Q&A. We'll put the link in the show notes or just head over to pianoteachingsuccess.com. Gillian.
So you can go and get yourself one of those kits because they're fantastic to use in your studio. Just laminate. You can even use, I use for these ones, you can get a matte laminate.
Oh, I've got
yeah.
I've got the one and
Shiny one, but I've got the matte one.
right. So matte. I think most office supply shops will have the matte laminates as well. And I've cut these up. Can I tell you, this is the worst bit because I'm just so not into cutting up things. But Blue Tack is my friend, and it's fantastic. But you could use
little
Velcro spots as well. And then I also made, this is a breadboard, fantastic to put all the Velcro spots on.
An idea, otherwise, what do you do with them?
I know, because I was losing them all the time, and I thought, oh, it was driving me nuts.
A good idea. There's multiple uses for many things around the house, even if we are in lockdown. Okay, so our number, if we looked at visual, what we can do to make ourselves look different, to use different camera angles and what have you. We've looked at auditory, which is, it's one thing with auditory to talk a lot, but you know, most people, that's not their highest sense. Lots of people are very visual. So it's when you combine your auditory with a visual cue or multiple senses at the same time, you get your message across so much quicker. And then you can move on so much. But our third one is kinesthetic. And so that's about, as Paul mentioned first up, moving, because Paul loves to move. Because Paul's kind of kinesthetic.
I am highly kinesthetic, so if I need to move to learn, in fact, when Gillian and I are usually talking, I'm either walking or running, so it's so much easier. And so there are different ways to get your students to move as well. So you could have them moving, sitting in their lesson, moving. I did every so often. You want them to actually get off the piano stool and go and move somewhere to reset their brain. So you might go and I'll show you a little picture in a moment or two of one of my classes where they've all gone and got a costume.
Yeah. So I like to call this the Roadrunner. Go
Yes.
get something purple.
Or then or the teacher might move. So there's lots of options there.
Or you might do a clapping exercise. So there's some movement there or some actions to a song or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
I'm going to show you that picture
yeah.
of my students, because I said go and put on an outfit, a funny outfit. So this was them, and as you can see, some of them have put in their weird names and stuff. And these kids are about 8 or 9, and they're just hysterical. They're doing their working on their grade 1 exam at the moment.
The middle one down the bottom, is that a dog?
It's a fake. It's a mask. It's a dog mask. It's very cool, isn't it?
Oh dear.
So it's fantastic.
It might be someone's pet.
Well, that's one of the things that I've often done is go and get your pet, and so they can then talk about their pet and what have you, and you sort of become friends with the pet as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now number 2, so that's about using a multisensory approach and using many senses to liven up what they're seeing on the screen, to help you get your message across when you're talking, and also getting, sometimes they just get bored. It's a long time if they're sitting there doing schoolwork and what have you, to sit in one place for anybody. And as Paul said, they can increase their neural activity by actually just moving and going and getting something, breaking and coming back. So our second tip, Paul,
is to use some backing tracks or technology. And we have backing tracks. A lot of courses have backing tracks. We've obviously got backing tracks for scales. And yeah, backing tracks are great because you can use fragment learning. So the ones that we have, they can hear what it sounds like. They can listen to and play the correct notes in time from the start. We can adjust the speed on our backing tracks, and of course learn a fragment within a whole. And you get really productive practice. There's a whole heap of information on episode 14 of Q&A about that.
So let's just go back and unpack some of those things. Can you go back to the slide, please?
Oh, sure.
We can hear what it sounds like, which means, which means that they play the correct notes in time from the start. How disappointing is it when you've just started a new piece and they come back and it's all wonky? And you're thinking, oh my goodness, we've just done all this practice. You've just done all this practice, practiced in this, this concept of what this piece goes like, which is nothing actually like what the piece really goes like. And then they've got to unlearn that. And it's particularly dangerous with exam pieces. If they at any time put any wrong information in there, it's one of those things that's likely or liable under stress to come out only in the exam room. So we only ever want the correct version or the perfect thing to go in, if we can get that, into their DNA, into their neural pathways at all times. So backing tracks really help that, because it says this is what it sounds like. And if you use a fragment, if you just get them to play, you can adjust the speed, so we can pull it back down to a slower speed. They can learn one fragment. So as you said, Paul, episode 14, we did show a little bit about that fragment. The wonderful thing about backing tracks, so those 3 main elements about what makes a good how to teach, principles of teaching, which is teaching the part within the whole. And so you can teach a part, but you teach it in context of the whole. So the backing track plays, and we just play it when it comes up. So that's good, because we're only doing a bite-sized chunk, something that we can do pretty easily. So we get it very often you can get it up to speed right from the very beginning if you're only doing a bite-sized chunk. We have to listen and follow along, track along with our music, and know when to come in at the right time, or come in at the right time. And we're only playing that thing. And then we're also getting an idea about the structure of a piece, because one of the things we always teach you to do is often you'll use a repeated fragment. So then you get to see, oh yeah, that little bit's there, and that little bit's there, and that little bit's there. And then you start to go, oh, there's a pattern. And that cues the brain into really easily memorizing a piece, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So let's talk through what you'll need if you're going to use backing tracks.
Well, it's definitely going to need one of these. So the
one of those is a Bluetooth speaker.
Is a Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, for those, this one is a UE boom which connects Bluetooth to my iPad. So if you were doing online lessons and you had a laptop, you could actually do it from within the laptop and share your sound, which you could hear and your student could hear. And it is often, that's probably the best way of doing this. Alternatively, you can have your own device and you can play the music on your device and then have the speaker so that the student can hear just what you're playing.
Out of pinch, you could use a phone, but it's a bit hard to see the music sometimes.
Exactly. But I mean, obviously for you, it's not going to be a problem. But no. with the piano teaching success materials, then you can easily get. Oh, excuse me. You can easily get into and share a page. So I'm just going to try and find an example of this. We're going to one of the practice buddies and just go into I'm quite taken by the D minor scales at the moment.
Let me share.
Let me
They're
share.
All a surprise. You just never know what any of them are going to be like until you put them on, really.
Exactly. So so I'm sharing my screen, and then I can. Now, I'm not sure whether I was playing in time. But yes, that's the delay. That's the problem. So you can't actually play along with it in that situation because I won't be exactly in time, because what I'm hearing and what you're hearing are going to be two different things.
Was that when you were sharing from the laptop sound?
That's when I'm sharing from the laptop sound. However, when you're sharing from your
UE boom?
My UE boom or your Bluetooth speaker, they will then obviously sound in time. Yeah. So you just got to be aware of that. So you want to make sure that you're not either don't play or have the music playing if you are going to play.
Because it's taking the ambient sound in when it's using the Bluetooth speaker, whereas the other one is piping a sound direct, and you've got another sound source coming in, hence the reason why there was a slight delay there.
Yeah.
So one of the fabulous things about backing tracks, particularly with Practice Buddy, is the student passes. So they have their own student pass, which means that they can use the sound and they could play it through their UE boom and they can play along with it while you listen.
Exactly.
When it's their screen.
And then, of course, we were talking about movement before, and I've got a little video of me doing a C major scale along with an example where I'm playing up one way and then coming down the other way. So let me show you that. It's a little bit of fun, and the students love it, and especially when they're at home. They, standing up, going around the piano seat, it really makes a big difference.
I thought scale practice could be so much fun.
Exactly. Let me share this with you. lot of fun, that.
Yeah.
I've done it with my students and they love it. It's just can we do it again? Can we do it again? Can we do it again? And it's those things where the repetition, which we need as piano teachers to have happen, it was just so easy.
Well, there's a few things in that too, that when you did an activity like that, so many kids just don't get, where do I start? Finding middle C again and finding the right spot. And so by actually getting them to go around, they've got to come back and find that right spot really quickly. And that sort of gamifies that whole, where's the right spot? And also you did something whereby you did it going up, and then I think you left the piano stool that way, and then you came down, and then you left the piano stool that way.
That was to stop getting dizzy.
I know, but it's also turning up the whole thing. And so it makes the learning more automatic, because I've got to not think about that whole going up and what finger numbers do I have to do. I've got to be thinking around, I've got to do that, then I've got to do this, then I've got to do that. So it really gets that learning happening so quickly, doesn't it?
And it really embeds the learning. It's really amazing when you have children doing these sorts of activities. You come back the next week, they just know it, even if they've done no practice. That's the thing that I can't understand. It's like, you've done no practice, but you can still play it.
Yeah, well, that's that whole embedding it in their whole system. And you talk a lot about that.
Well, embodied learning, and that's what I suppose what we do at Whole Body Learning, and what the whole concept of whole body learning is, which is based on the philosophy of Delcro's Orphan Kadai, who are educators from 100 years ago. I mean, they really had it right. It's just that we're lucky living in 2020 when we've got technology to add to that mix, and we can create and have the opportunity. I know, Gillian and I started Forte School of Music in 26 years ago, and I remember going
this kind of teaching technology for that long.
Yes,
So it's not new.
No, it's definitely not new. But I was speaking.
It certainly works.
Well, after 26 years, yes. But I was talking to the associate professor in early childhood at one of the universities in Queensland when I was doing one of my ORF courses that I had done, and she said if ORF was alive today, this is what he'd be doing. Using the technology of the day. And I think a lot of composers, or a lot of educators in that period of time, certainly the fundamental thing is singing, and really getting your students to sing for as early as possible, or vocalize.
Yeah, so important. So we've got a little special. Last month we had a special on Practice Buddy that was with the Piano Fundamentals book, but this month for August, we're going to be bundling in 2 student passes that you can resell for your students. So when you buy a teacher annual pass,
it almost covers covers at least 50% of the price. Yeah. It's a bargain.
Yeah, the teacher pass is 127 Australian, and each teacher pass is 31. So $62 you can get back on that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And the students get to be able to have those scales, the tracks at home. So a student pass is 1 grade, so everything you need for 1 grade, plus a scale hacks kit and that kind of thing. And the teacher pass is 5 grades, so prelim or initial or whatever that preparatory grade is, a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4.
And that's an annual pass, so you get access to all of the movable backing. Different speeds. You can adjust speed adjustable backing tracks, and all of the downloadables are studio licensed, so you can print them off as much as you like.
Exactly. And the for the comprehensive, we've got the exercises in there as well, haven't we?
Oh, that's for Amy B comprehensive, yes. And for those our British friends, we have ABRSM new syllabus. It's nearly all up as well. So with the ABRSM you get old syllabus and new syllabus.
Yeah, double. Double for your money.
That's right. And you can buy in the currency of your choice. I think we've got 9 or 10 currencies there. So US dollars, Canadian dollars, what have you.
Yeah. All good. So let's move on to chunking down. That's our third tip, chunking down, which is also called fragment learning. So what do we mean by fragment learning, Paul?
Well, we're taking a little bit and we're then potentially learning that fragment and then putting it back in the whole. Mm-hmm. So I was just wondering, you haven't seen this, and because it's I'm still working out. So this is something new, totally raw. I thought I would share it today.
A sneak peek.
A sneak peek. Gillian hasn't even seen this, but I thought I would share this, and it's a perfect example of chunking down. Now, I'm writing a course on how to teach the new ABRSM syllabus using whole body learning, and until COVID happened, I was going around the world teaching this course in person throughout Asia and in the UK. But of course, with COVID, no chance to travel these days. So the new syllabus has just come out, and I'll be doing a similar thing with Trinity, but the new syllabus has just come out, and I wanted to share with you. Now, I'm using this a platform at the moment called AWW, and it is free. It's like a drawing platform, and I'm going to share it with you now. And I've uploaded my PDF, which is the PDF that comes with the course. Now, this particular piece is Melody by Schumann, and it's from the album For the Young. And this is the first workshop sheet. And so to start with, active listening is really, really important. So this particular piece, this 2-bar phrase, is the first phrase. And so if you point your device at that QR code, you'll see a little video. It'll come up of the first 2 bars. So you can... So that's the first 2 bars. And then you can go to the other one and see a performance of Melody, or alternatively, your teacher might be able to play it. So it's just a performance by a gentleman. So I'm sure you all know this piece. But what we want the student to do is to listen for that 2-bar phrase and tick off every time they hear that in the music. So they just tick the box. Now they could actually do this online, and you could share this screen with them. So I could invite you. So if I'm going to copy the link, I'm going to see if I can put that link into, not sure I can, into the Facebook group. I'm not sure I can while we're going, but anyway, or if you have a device, you can also get a QR code, so you can point your device, so your student could point their device and then they could do it on their device at home, and you can then they could then tick when they hear the phrase. So that's the start of this process. So by this, if they do that 3 times, they've listened to that phrase a lot. The next part is, I'm going to the next page. Let me see. Doesn't seem to want to move to the next page. It's a bit of a shame. No, I can't. Goodness me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of a bit of a little little taster about that whole process.
Yes.
QR codes. You just use QR codes. So how did you do that?
You just literally point your phone, the camera app on your phone towards the QR codes, and it will read the QR code.
No. Yeah, I get that. But how do you make them? Like, you made a QR code so that your student could get into the AW board.
Well, it does, that AW board does it automatically.
Do you say generate QR code or something wrong?
Yeah. It just press the button, generate QR code. You don't even have to think about it.
Oh, cool.
I know, it's very clever.
And how did you do the YouTube clip?
If I told you that, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, come on.
Well, you can do. Yeah, it's really easy to do. You just Google how to make QR code on Google,
yeah.
and then you just put
I'll
it
take
in,
you through the
put the
process.
and it's dead easy to do. So it's actually not that hard.
Good. We've actually had a couple of comments in here, which is a question back to, I think, when we were talking about switching between camera
Yep.
angles. Do you press Command Shift and N all at once, or one after the other?
It's all at once.
Yeah. Or you could go boom, 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 but you've got to hold them down, don't you, to get them to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Cynthia's here. Cynthia Delaney's here from the Whit Sundays. Hello, Cynthia. Nice to see you. And we've got one of our former Forte students
I
who
know.
came to Brisbane and Sydney. Yay! How cool is that?
I know. It's very cool.
Welcome. Oh, I've just lost you. Paul's QR code's turned up here. And welcome, Diane Orton, as well. You're here. It's so nice to have you here with us today live. So there's that little QR code that will take you into that whiteboard. So let's see how that goes. Yeah. So one of the other things about chunking down is doing one thing at a time and giving one instruction at a time. And if we think back to the video with Miss Dopey, she's going, do this, do that. Now do this, do that. No, you got to go do this and do that. And I was like, oh, overwhelmed. But what we do have, are we going to watch the video of the Miss Doobie now, or do we want?
I think we should finish off with Miss Doobie. I think it's a great idea. Let's have a look, and we can talk about it as we go.
Yeah, we'll stop it. There's so much good.
Now, you haven't heard this before, so I'm going to play it for you. And I'd like you to watch my hands on the piano. And you can you can watch either screen. It doesn't really matter. It's only a short one.
Stop.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, so she's got multiple screens now. Oh, we can stay on to that. We can stay on that.
Okay.
She has multiple screens. She's got a screen of a shot of the keyboard from above, and see, she's using, if you can see in that top one where you can actually see Yolanda, she's used like some kind of an apparatus where it clips onto her music rest, and she's using a phone, so it's not that hard. I think she's got a laptop which she's broadcasting on, and she's got an iPad which she's playing the Bluetooth, so she's playing her backing track on, and she must have a Bluetooth speaker there in the background, which we can't hear.
Let's hear it.
Can you hear that? It's a great one. Could you hear all the instruments in there? They're a
So she's also, she's playing through the Bluetooth speaker, and so that she's got the student to hear the piece all as one before she started. So she's starting with the whole as well.
Yeah, and so she did a model what we would call a model performance. So she played the piece, so to give the student a good idea or an idea of what they want, what they're going to be doing.
Yep.
And that play for a dance. So we're going to do some dancing to learn the rhythm today. Can you see me back here?
Yeah, she's moved.
Okay, I'm going to be your, just going to copy me, okay? So can you tap your knees 2 times? Great. And then we're going to clap our hands, but have a listen to the words. People dancing all around. Your turn.
Dancing all around.
Nice singing. Here's the next bit. Same actions, different words. Clapping to the big band sound. Lovely. Now, I know there's a lot of words there, but you try your best. We're going to try and sing all of those with the music. The first one was people dancing all around. Try your best.
So this activity of, I'm just going to stop sharing. So tapping, I'd need to, if I was teaching, I would need to sit back further from the camera, obviously.
Which is
But this, which is this down here, is a representation of pitch, lower notes, higher notes, or bass clef and treble clef.
Well, it's also left hand. It's what the left hand's playing.
Well, that's right. Yeah, left hand, but it's also because the representation of pitch is vertical, which is what music is. But of course, on piano, it's horizontal. So this is helping. It's really keying the student into that vertical representation of pitch, which is going to help them for reading.
Yeah. And
Let's
she
keep
cued
watching.
it quite well.
The cueing is amazing. Have a listen to this.
Got your hands ready? Ready, people? People dancing all around. Lovely. I could see you got most of the words that time. Very good.
Can you
Now,
stop?
I'd like you to have
Back to when she was doing people dancing all around, and the student did it straight with her. The student started doing it and then felt the need to sing.
Yes.
Because she started off not singing and that didn't feel right. So then she just sang. So she didn't have to make a big deal of it. I mean, her student actually is a music teacher. And this is just a
Pretend lesson.
Yeah, pretend lesson. But still, she felt the void of, and the kids are like that, don't they? They actually feel that void. They feel it too very often. I mean, sometimes you have to challenge to sing.
Yeah. Well, let's keep going.
Yep.
look at your music and see if you can find treble clef. Can you point to your treble clef, the first one on your book? That's it. And then next to the treble clef, there's a couple of notes that look a bit like mine. Do you know what I've drawn there? You know that note.
It's middle C.
Middle C. Now, you know how to find middle C on your piano. It's the one near the words on your piano there, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Just great use of visual and
She had
having
the props and she was using it to explain very
Yes.
clearly.
So it makes it so much easier for the student.
Mm.
the one we're using. That's right. Now wiggle your thumb. That's finger number 1. Can you put that number 1 on C? That's it. Now, that's the first note. Now with your other hand, can you point to the book and tell yourself what those notes are? You've got C, C, and then what?
D, E, F.
So can you play C, C, D, E, F? Your turn. Good, and you automatically use the right fingers too. That's very good, Kerry. All right, now I'm going to...
Yes. Well, that was good, wasn't it? We like that idea. We like that she made Kerry, her student, eyes track. Her eyes had to go onto the piano because she had to put to the music because she had to point to the ones that she was going to play. So lots of kids sort of look in the general direction of the music, but their eyes don't actually focus in on exactly the right notes or the notes that they're playing. They kind of just look in that general direction. But this was actually making her brain, you have to point to exactly the notes as she played it. So you got a physical thing and a visual thing. So that combining of those senses really makes that more memorable for Kerry.
Exactly.
And if she sang, that would be even better because it's a trifecta.
play the left-hand part, and you're going to play the right-hand part. Now, have you got a pencil there?
Yeah.
Let's put a circle around those 5 notes that you just played. C, C, D, E, F.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see those 5 notes again on the page somewhere? Let's put a circle around those ones.
At the end.
Yep. Any more on that page? All right. So I get the...
So I love that because it's finding the patterns, and music is full of patterns, and so many times that children aren't seeing the patterns to actually realize that actually this is easy.
Yeah.
I had just a very, very quick story. One of my students in my grade 7 class, I gave them this Mozart sonata that they're playing for their grade 7, and the mum of one of the girls told me that my daughter came home and she went, "It's a really nice piece," and then burst into tears and goes, "It's really hard." And then apparently she came back a couple of days later to her mother and said, "It's not, it's just full of patterns."
Mm-hmm.
So she'd actually worked out that, oh, it's actually really not that as hard as it looks, because it was a sea of black.
Yes. Well, it can be when they're now lines. Kind of thing. But, you know, sometimes when they break it up like that, they go, oh, actually, I know most of that. I know half the piece. I only know one fragment, but I know half the piece. So
exactly.
Accuse him for memorizing.
All right, let's move on.
First two notes, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Oh, so good, Kerry. We're going to do it one more time with the music. I'll put the slower one on, seeing it's a new song. Yeah.
Oh, right. So that was
Team playing.
Team playing, yeah. So that sort of team playing sounds different pitch to me. So that sort of team playing that you can do is you're playing one and then they're playing. So that's a great activity. So you're not ever playing together, but they're playing as a team. So in this online environment where you can actually do that.
Yeah, exactly. And even if there's a slight little delay, it kind of doesn't really matter. Everybody knows what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she said, this is your first time, we're going to do it with the slow speed. So she's identifying that this is the slow speed, and that's one of the advantages of using backing tracks, that they've got multiple speeds. So there's a practice speed and a constant speed. In fact, we've done that in our at Forte since 1994.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day going, no one's heard of cassettes or CDs.
That's what we started out with, wasn't it?
It was very hard to change the speed with a cassette.
The kids didn't have adjustable speeds. They did have a practice speed and a constant speed.
Exactly.
And that was
Here we go.
Ready? Thumb on C. Go. C, C, D, E, F. Go. C, C. Oh, give yourself a pat on the back. Or a clap. Excellent work.
Thanks, Yolanda.
So I'm going to write that on your practice sheet to practice the right-hand part that you circled on your page there.
So really great cueing. She sang.
Yes.
Even if the student doesn't sing, it doesn't matter. You singing is so important. They hear someone singing. That's, you know, it's better than nothing. And gradually they will see that, oh, I see, we sing in lessons and that's just normal. But great cueing and celebrating.
That's it. And, you know, if your students don't sing, you can really just get them to say it. I can almost guarantee within a month, if they just say it every time they play, it will turn into singing.
Yeah.
It's like magic. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's the foundation of doing. It's a foundation of all oral skills.
Yeah, exactly. So to celebrate, we've actually got in our little kit in our online teacher resources, we've actually got little brag tags and stuff like that you can do up in little student bags if you're doing those for the students this term, or if you're still online. Do we have a video about that?
We do, but we're sort of running out of time.
Okay. Well, that's one of the other things that we did.
Well, but I thought if we've got a few people who are, if anyone's around, we could show you another resource that you can use, which is called Kahoot.
Oh, yes. This is fun.
Anyone's played Kahoot. You can play with, anyone can play with their, when they've got any device. So I'm going to just set it up and share the page. So if you're around and you would like to play, there's only 5 questions, and we're going to
so the
play
website is Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT is the website.
Yes, I will show everyone. And there it is, it's on up there. And you just go to, now the music does get a little bit frustrating, so
Well, last
Join-
night, you were playing this last night, we had some really great music that came on.
I know you can change the music. I think, oh, here we go, I can change it to disco.
Okay, good. Well, you go got to enter that number in the first screen, and then with your nickname, whatever you want.
Yes, so I'm just putting my game pin in.
I'm going to play too.
Are you? Okay. All right, so you can see I'm in and Gillian's in. Anyone else can join if they'd like. All right, so we're going to start playing the game now. And here it goes. So this is an auditory one. And then when everyone's answered, let's see. Oh, she's beating me. So here's the next game. Did I get in early enough? Let's see. Oh, catching up. Here we go. Oh! Let's see. Let's see who gets best of two to go. And she's back in front. And the last question is, let's see, the podium, third place. We don't have a third place winner. Ah, look at you. You won. So that gives you a bit of an idea of Kahoot. Now, you can actually make your own Kahoots and just log on to Kahoot. We're actually putting together a whole heap of Kahoots that are going to go into our teacher packs that teachers will have available as well, but which have got a mix of oral skills and visual skills.
We do have some games and things like that go with our theory fundamentals books, don't we?
We do. So there's
There's a lot of online content that goes with these books. There's video lessons for this book and for the notes fella, and then there's extra worksheets and there's these quizzes and stuff like that.
Yes, and these books are available in Australia and the UK.
Yep,
so
blackrockmusic.com
and blackrockmusic.co.uk. So this is the Australian version of grade 1, not the British version, but so these are quizzes, and your student, you could, if you're using Zoom, you could give your student the ability to answer this question. So how should these notes be played? Click the name and the meaning. So you've got to click staccato and...
Am I playing this? No.
No, I'm just going to show it because we're running out of time.
We are running out of time.
So, and then things like this, which direction and what side should the stem be on? So it could be up or right, up on the right or down on the left, which I think is the correct answer. Let's see. Or you could get any of those were correct answers. So that's those games are really great to do with your students, that you can play by giving your students control of your screen to answer the question and just sharing one window.
That goes back to that first thing. There's change around the screen, so have them looking at the same thing all of the time. Do different activities throughout the lesson. So
exactly.
Well, that's all we have time for today. So we hope you enjoyed it and got some few tips and pointers to make your online lessons more fun and effective.
Exactly.
So we'd like to say bye.
Well, yeah, and if anyone is interested, that we will be having some courses, and we're actually looking at developing a teaching course materials in the new year.
For
if you're
ABRSM?
interested, for ABRSM and other things. And if you go to pianoteachingsuccess.com/register, you can register your interest for those as well.
Yeah, so you can find out more, and that we're developing the piano teaching success studio, where you'll be able to get access to all of our backing tracks. For pieces, it's a sneak peek. It'll tell you what's going on, but we're actually doing all modules for pieces. We're also doing modules for games. So there'll be modules for beginner pieces with studio licensed materials, and we've got Bergmüllers. We've got the Bergmüllers. We've got all of the Bachs in the children's Bachs, and so much going on in the background at the moment. So if you're interested in the backing tracks and how to teach with them, so we'll be giving a whole heap of teaching guides to go along with each piece. So if you're interested in that, register for the piano studio, the Piano Teaching Success Studio.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.
See ya.